Ever felt like you're just drowning in information? You know, like there's so much out there, it's almost impossible to really get a handle on what actually matters.
Oh, absolutely. We know that feeling.
Yeah. But imagine having someone like cut through all that noise, pull out the really astonishing facts, connect the dots you didn't even see.
And weave it all into a narrative that makes sense, something compelling.
Exactly. So you actually feel properly informed. And that's what we're doing today.
It's about finding those aha moments, isn't it? Taking all these sources and distilling them down. That's really the core of these deep dives.
And today we are taking a plunge, a really deep one, into just one single source, but it's incredibly dense. It's this gripping screenplay by Jerry Bader.
Right, the author known for noir detective stuff, crime novels, even biographies like Organized Crime Queens. So he definitely knows his way around hidden power structures.
He really does. So our mission today is to unpack this decades-long saga. We're talking crime, hidden family secrets, big corporate intrigue.
And a chillingly precise plan for revenge and power.
You'll see how every little event, stuff that seems random, maybe starting in a hospital back in '87.
All the way up to today's corporate boardrooms and political offices.
Right. It's all connected. Every piece is part of this huge, carefully orchestrated game.
It's a complex story, no doubt. But we're here to guide you through every twist and turn, so get ready.
Okay, let's dive in then. That opening scene, 1987, Mount Sinai Hospital, it just grabs you immediately, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What makes that kidnapping so, chillin' right from the start?
It's the cold precision, I think. You have this nurse, Carmen Antipov.
Who we learn is the estranged wife of a Russian mobster, Bolshoi Boris Antipov.
Exactly. And she just sedates a new mother, Kiku Kimura, and walks out with her baby boy. It's disturbingly calm.
Oh, wow.
And then there's that weird detail in the limo, the getaway car.
Oh, the cigar, right.
Yeah, she's with these two heavy enforcers, Nikki and Luca, and she snaps at one to put out his expensive Cohiba cigar. Because, you know, there's a baby in the car.
That's unsettling. A flash of concern amidst this horrific crime.
It is jarring, isn't it? But it's just a flash, because the ruthlessness comes right back.
How so?
Well, back in Kiku's hospital room, another nurse finds her, lifeless.
Oh,
The sedative drip was increased, lethal dose. So Kiku Kimura is dead, and her baby's gone.
And the getaway car, the limo.
Vanishes almost immediately. Taken to Ralph Salvage, compacted into scrap metal, gone.
Just like that.
Just like that. The driver gets paid $2,500, a lot of money then, but he knows it's bad. His inner monologue, it shows he's terrified. He knows he's tangled up with Russian mobsters.
That fear really sets the stage, but then a counterforce emerges.
Yes. Sato Muona, Kiku Kimura's mother. She arrives at the hospital.
And she's not just any grieving mother. She's the widow of a Yakuza gangster, Ito Muona.
Right. Impeccably dressed, bodyguards in tow.
Yep.
The doctor notes her background running a Yakuza nightclub involved in prostitution, money laundering, illegal real estate deals.
So she's powerful.
Very. And her reaction isn't just grief, it's rage. She publicly vows to find her grandson, even as she hands her young granddaughter, Kato, to a bodyguard. It shows that Yakuza long game thinking.
It's not just about the moment, it's generational, persistent influence.
Precisely. And just when you think things can't get crazier, the driver, he goes back to Carmen Antipov's place in Bel Air, presumably to get paid again or something, finds a bloodbath. Nikki, Luca, Carmen, and Bolshoi, Boris Antipov himself, all dead. Looks like an ambush gone wrong.
Good grief. And the baby.
Carmen's holding the baby when she dies reinforces how much danger that child was in.
So the driver walks into this carnage. What does he do?
He improvises. He knows he can't call the cops. He's involved in something very wrong.
Right.
So he grabs a laundry basket, makes a makeshift bed for the baby, finds some diapers, formula, whatever he can. And then, poof, he and the baby just disappear. The script says, never to be seen or heard from again.
Wow. Okay, so what's the immediate fallout? How does this hit the public?
Through the newspapers the next morning, we see Malcolm Sokolov, vice chairman of the Bolshoi Land Development Company, reading them.
Boris Antipov's company.
His company. The first headline, Russian Bratva boss, butchered, details the deaths. Boris, Carmen, the bodyguards, and crucially, it mentions Boris's 2-year-old daughter, Carla, was found safe.
Carla Antipov.
And she's set to inherit everything, with Sokolov appointed as her guardian.
Okay, that's huge. And the second headline?
Mobsters Mistress croaks, baby disappears. Links Kiku Kimura's death to the kidnapping. And it highlights Sato Muona's public vow to find her grandson. It also mentions Sato is now guardian to her granddaughter, Kato.
So this chaotic opening, it's not just random violence, it's the setup, the genesis of this long, calculated plan, right? Decades in the making.
Exactly. These events from '87, they seem separate, but they're deeply intertwined. They lay the foundation for everything that happens next.
Okay, let's unpack that connection then. How do these events tie into the power struggles we see playing out today?
It tells us nothing is accidental. Every death, every disappearance, it's a move on a very strategic chessboard. And that brings us to the present day.
Right. The Bolshoi Land Development Company now.
Now, chaired by Malcolm Sokoloff, who's 78. The company's methods are described pretty bluntly. Influence peddling, coercion, and political corruption. That's how they grow.
And Karla Antipov, the little girl who inherited everything.
She's now a sophisticated woman, the nominal boss, but Sokolov, her guardian, still holds the real power.
Must be a complicated relationship.
Very. The script says she has this love-hate thing with Malcolm. She relies on him but resents his control. She sees the Bolshoi as her birthright.
And there's another familiar name there too, right? Kate?
Yes, Kate Kimura, who we now realize is Keiko, Kiku's daughter, Sato's granddaughter. She's working as an in-house lawyer for the Bolshoi.
Inside the enemy camp, essentially.
You could say that.
Yeah.
And she has this private, quite biting nickname for Karla, the Futakuchiona,
Which means
the two-mouthed wife with an insatiable appetite. Tells you a lot about the underlying tension, doesn't it?
it certainly does. Deep resentment hiding beneath the professional surface.
Mm-hmm. And we see Malcolm's methods up close. He has this secret meeting with the mayor in the parking garage of the Tenoshi Basho shopping mall on the Gozu level.
Gosu, like the ox-faced demon from Buddhist hell, guarding the underworld.
Exactly. A very fitting, symbolic name for this kind of meeting. Malcolm gives the mayor cash left in locker 893
Why? What's the deal?
to make sure a specific city bylaw doesn't pass. A bylaw that, in Malcolm's words, that bitch Miona is working hard to see gets through council.
So the conflict with Sato Muona is still very much active, decades later.
Oh, yes. And Sato proves her reach immediately. Right after the meeting, as the mayor's leaving the garage, she intercepts him. Trim, well-dressed, bodyguard still present.
Making her presence felt,
Yeah,
showing she's still watching.
definitely. And in this present-day storyline, we also properly meet Ransom Connors.
Malcolm Sokolov's driver.
Right. He's an aspiring artist. Notes say he has vaguely Japanese features.
Yeah.
And there's this internal conflict going on with him. He doesn't want to be just a driver like his father was. He wants something more.
Okay, so the stage is set. High-stakes corporate games, political corruption, but hints of something deeper, more personal simmering underneath.
That's exactly it. The corporate fight is just the surface. Underneath is this long simmering plan for reclamation. Who's really pulling the strings? What are their real motives?
That's the core puzzle, isn't it?
It is. And the next sequence, this elaborate package exchange Karla sets up, really ramps up the deception.
Yes, at the Tenoshi Basho Mall again. She gives instructions to Kato and Ransom.
Incredibly precise instructions. They need identical shopping bags from a store called the Baruku.
And Ransom gets hung up on the colors, right? Black versus white.
Yeah, he's frustrated by it. Seems trivial, but it highlights Karla's meticulous, maybe even paranoid control. It feels too elaborate.
Like she's setting up layers within layers. What's the actual plan for the exchange?
Synchronized drop-off. Each puts a package in a specific locker. Then there's a key exchange involving locker 893, the one from the mayor's bribe.
And Karla makes threats.
Oh, yeah. A chilling threat to Ransom. If anything goes wrong or if Kate gets hurt, he's done. High stakes for everyone involved.
What does this whole convoluted setup tell us about Karla? Is it paranoia or is something else going on?
It shows deep distrust, even for Kate, and a need to control every variable. But Ransom, he's sharper than she thinks.
Oh, so?
He spots a tail immediately. A Lincoln Navigator. Remembers his dad's advice. You always check, never assume.
Good advice for that line of work.
Definitely.
Hmm.
He pulls this clever move, ducks down a narrow alley, loses the tail. But they're not the only ones watching.
Oh, who else is there?
The script points out others. A stocky Japanese businessman with a red koi tattoo.
Hinting at Yakuza.
Strongly. And also a romantic couple wandering the mall. We later find out they are Sukura and the chef. They're all watching.
Okay, so Ransom's lost his initial tail, but the mall is crawling with watchers. What happens next?
Ransom goes into the men's room. He needs to make a switch.
A switch?
Yeah, quick thinking. He takes the valuable package. He assumes it's cash out of the white Baruku bag Karla gave him.
Okay.
And puts it into the black bag, which is supposed to just contain birdseed he bought earlier.
Swaps the valuable content into the decoy bag. Clever.
Very. And just as he finishes, guess who shows up?
The guy with the koi tattoo.
You got it. Gun drawn, demands the white bag.
What does Ransom do?
Doesn't hesitate, kicks him hard, right in the groin. Chaos erupts, and another guy walks in. Ransom uses the confusion to escape. Shows real resourcefulness under pressure.
Wow. Okay, so he escaped, but the Yakuza guy was after the white bag. The one without the money now.
Exactly. So Ransom meets back up with Kate. He gives her the white bag, the one with birdseed in it now.
To put in locker 893 as planned.
Right. Meanwhile, Ransom puts the black bag, the one with the real goods, the cash, into his own locker nearby.
And the key for locker 893.
Kate accidentally drops it. And who swoops in to pick it up?
Let me guess. The romantic woman. Sakura.
Bingo. She palms the key. So the Yakuza network now has the key to a locker full of birdseed.
Okay, so the exchange is completely messed up from Carla's perspective. How does she react? How does Malcolm react?
Malcolm is furious about the bungled exchange. Ransom insists they were tailed, that it wasn't his fault.
But Carla...
Surprisingly, she seems unfazed. Almost like she expected something to go wrong. Or maybe the birdseed package wasn't her main concern.
What makes you say that?
She tells Ransom to go back to the mall, stake out locker 893. It suggests she knows what was supposed to be in the other bag, the cash, and she still wants it. She knows Ransom likely has it.
Okay. She's playing a longer game, too. And meanwhile, she's dealing with the mayor.
Yep. She meets him at the Pink Palace Hotel, seduces him, but secretly records the whole encounter.
Blackmail material.
Exactly. Uses it immediately to force him to keep blocking that bylaw Sato wants passed. Even though he's complaining, he never got his payment, the key to locker 893.
Because Sakura picked it up.
Right. So Carla has leverage over the mayor now.
And Ransom, back at the mall.
He watches locker 893. Eventually, some random, innocent woman opens it.
And inside.
Yellow rain slickers. No package at all. The birdseed is gone.
So someone got the birdseed, but it wasn't the Yakuza guy Ransom kicked? Or maybe it was someone working with Sakura?
It seems Sakura or her associates used the key and cleared it out. But the main point for Ransom is, the package they thought mattered is gone. But his black bag,
The one with the real money.
still safe in his locker. He retrieves it. Carla didn't get the cash.
Okay, this is incredibly intricate. So much deception, so many hidden agendas. It feels like the ground is constantly shifting. Who is actually in control here?
That's the question, isn't it? And the next part of the story provides the answer, flipping everything we thought we knew. It's the real aha moment.
How does it start?
It starts with the bylaw. Despite Malcolm's efforts, despite the bribe attempt, it passes council.
Sadamono wins that round.
She does. And Carla uses this moment to be incredibly cruel to Malcolm, tells him flat out, it's time for you to retire.
Ouch. After all those years as her guardian and running the company, how does he take it?
Not well. He refuses, defiantly. Lets loose this really potent Russian curse, Yabatsuka.
Doesn't sound like he's going quietly.
Not at all. He immediately makes a phone call, tells someone to arrange for something special.
Uh-oh. That sounds ominous, like he's planning retaliation.
It certainly seems that way. But the truly mind-blowing revelation comes for Ransom.
What happens?
He goes back to his apartment and finds his landlady, this elderly woman named Mrs. Shinigami.
The one who teaches him Japanese and gives him rent breaks?
That's her. She's serving tea to Kate.
Mm-hmm.
And another older, elegant Japanese woman.
Who is?
Sato Morna.
No way! Satomona in Ransom's apartment with Kate.
Exactly. And then Sato drops the bombshell. She looks right at Ransom and tells him she's his grandmother.
His grandmother. But his mother was Kiku Kimura.
And Kate Kato is his half-sister.
So Ransom is the stolen baby from 1987.
He is. And the man he thought was his father. The driver.
He was the driver from the hospital. The one who rescued him from the Bel Air massacre.
Yes. It's just jaw-dropping. Decades of questions answered in an instant.
I'll say. So Saito then explains the real reason for the kidnapping back then.
She does. It wasn't about Boris wanting the baby. It was Carmen Antipov's plot. She knew Boris planned to leave control of the family business, the Bolshoi, to his only son, Ransom.
Not to his daughter, Carla.
Right. Carmen kidnapped Ransom to eliminate him as a rival, to protect Carla's inheritance.
And the bloodbath at the house. Boris's death.
That was Boris trying to rescue his son. Carmen's plan went sideways, leading to everyone getting killed except the baby and the driver. It wasn't just random mob violence, it was Carmen's desperate failed attempt to secure Carla's future by eliminating Ransom.
And Sato knew all this, or figured it out.
She figured it out. And she didn't just let the driver disappear. She reveals she tracked him down years ago, kept in touch. She meticulously orchestrated Ransom's life from the shadows, guided him towards getting the driver job at the Bolshoi, even arranged for him to rent the apartment from Mrs. Shinigami.
It was all planned. For decades.
All of it. She tells Ransom and Kate, now it's time for you and your sister to take what rightfully belongs to you.
Their birthright. The Bolshoi. But Ransom must be thinking, how? How can a grandmother, a lawyer, and a chauffeur take down a powerful company essentially run by the Russian mob?
Yes, exactly that. He's skeptical. How are they going to pull this off?
And Sato's answer.
She calmly asks Ransom for the black Buruku bag, the one with the cash he secured from the mall exchange.
Okay.
And then she introduces him to Mr. Enma Shinigami.
Related to the landlady, Mrs. Shinigami.
Her brother-in-law. And he's not just anyone, he's the Oyabun.
The head of their Yakuza organization.
Yes. The quiet landlady who teaches Japanese is connected to the local Yakuza boss, the god of death figure, Enma. That's the power behind Sato.
So that's how they plan to take it down. Not just Sato, Kate, and Ransom, but with Yakuza backing.
Full Yakuza backing. And then Sato delivers one more chilling piece of the puzzle.
What's that?
Remember, Ransom planted a device on Malcolm's limo. Following Carla's instructions, she said it was a tracker.
Yeah.
Sato reveals it wasn't a tracker. It was a fake bomb. Planted by Ransom, yes, but the intent came from Carla.
Wait, Carla intended to blow up Malcolm's limo with Ransom driving?
Exactly. It confirms Carla was planning to kill Malcolm all along.
Yeah.
And Ransom.
Yeah.
It's just acceptable collateral damage.
That is cold. So the whole narrative just completely flips. The past wasn't chaos. It was the trigger for this incredibly patient, decades-long plan by Sato and the Yakuza.
Right. To reclaim what was stolen Boris's company, Ransom's birthright, and secure their own power. We've gone from what looked like simple crime to this vast, pre-orchestrated strategy.
Which brings us to the final act. Malcolm called for something special after Carla fired him.
And Sato's Yakuza network is now ready to make its move. It culminates in these final, precise assassinations, tied together with that Sakura symbol.
The cherry blossom?
Malcolm's end comes at the Pink Palace Hotel. He's waiting for his something special.
Which turns out to be
an exotic blonde Japanese beauty. A hooker. But her entire body is covered in large red and gray cherry blossom tattoos.
The Sakura motif again. A symbol of life's fleeting nature and sudden death.
Exactly. She uses a distinctive red cherry blossom stick pin to paralyze him, then injects him with something lethal.
Does she say anything?
Oh, yes. As he's dying, she leans in and says, Sato says hello.
Chilling, a direct message.
And she stages the scene, makes it look like maybe drugs or a heart attack during sex, takes a big wad of cash from his wallet, and just slips away. Cold, clean, symbolic revenge.
So Malcolm is eliminated. What about Carla? She ordered the fake bomb. She was the rival claimant.
Her special delivery comes at the newsroom bar and grill. She's eating there.
And
her waitress is Sakura, the romantic woman from the mall exchange.
Who also works for Sato Yakuza.
Yes. And Sakura is wearing a red cherry blossom stick pin. The chef, who we saw as the romantic man at the mall, also wearing a stick pin, prepares Carla's meal.
What does he make her?
A Queen Anne's lace salad. But he secretly infuses it with quinine.
Quinine. That's the active toxin in hemlock, isn't it? Like Socrates.
The very same. Highly toxic. Carla eats the salad, deteriorates rapidly, and dies right there. Another symbolic, untraceable elimination.
Both assassinations marked by the cherry blossom. A signature.
A clear signature of Sato's organization delivering on that decades-old vow. The old guard is gone.
And the path is clear for the new guard.
Exactly. The final scene is conveyed through a news report. Ransom Connors,
the stolen baby, the driver,
is officially declared Boris Antopov's only surviving relative. He inherits everything. The Bolshoi Land Development Company, the Tanoshi Basho Mall,
and his half-sister, Kato.
Kato Kimura takes the role of company president. And guess who gets appointed to the board of directors?
Let me guess. Mr. Enma Shinigami and Mrs. Sato Muona.
You got it. The Yakuza influence is now formally embedded at the very top.
The ultimate reclamation. They didn't just take revenge, they took control.
Complete control. And there's one final detail in the news.
What's that?
Mayor Charles Langley, the one Carla blackmailed. He formally announces his candidacy for governor.
Implying
the Yakuza's influence isn't just corporate anymore. They're extending their reach into politics, likely backing Langley now that Carla's leverage is gone. They have their figurehead moving up.
Wow, so this isn't just a crime story. It's a blueprint for a strategic takeover. Generations in the making. Chillingly precise.
It really is. You witness how these deep-seated grievances, left to fester for decades, can fuel such a meticulous long-term plan for ultimate power. What started as chaos in 1987.
Was anything but. Every single move, every character played a role in this grand design, unfolding with terrifying patience.
And that brings us pretty much to the end of this incredible deep dive. We've journeyed all the way from that brutal kidnapping and massacre in '87.
To this calculated corporate and criminal takeover today. What looked like random violence or just business squabbles.
Turned out to be the precise execution of a family's, or maybe more accurately, an organization's plan for revenge and absolute power.
It's a really chilling reminder, isn't it? How deep these hidden agendas can run, planned out for years, decades even, to hit one single ultimate goal.
Absolutely. Meticulously planned and patiently executed.
So it kind of leaves you wondering, doesn't it? It raises this question for you, the listener. What power shifts might be happening around you that you're just not seeing?
What's going on beneath the surface?
Yeah. And how far would someone go? How far would you go to reclaim what you believed was your birthright, especially when you have these deep family histories, powerful organizations involved?
It makes you think about how these long-held grievances, when they're not addressed, can spiral.
Yeah.
They can become these incredibly detailed operations that completely reshape power, all from the shadows.
A really fascinating and frankly unsettling look at power, revenge, and the long game.